The NFL Combine has come and gone once again for the NFL draft process. So today I'm going to do my after the Combine, post-Combine mock draft. We're not going to have any trades here because I'm very on the side that there's not going to be too many trades, at least in the top 10. And then after that, it could, trades are going to happen. But I don't think the as impactful, really cool trades are going to happen in the top 10, and so I won't have any trades because I really don't know after that, even though there probably will be trades after that 100%. But the Bears are going to get Caleb Williams. Looks more and more likely that they're going to look to move on. They're getting some trade offers for Justin Fields, and Caleb Williams is ultimately just the best quarterback in this draft, and I think it would be a mistake for the Bears to pass on him. The Washington Commanders, I'm going to have them take Drake May, and this is kind of based off rumors. This is based off kind of what I think. It really is just a mix of both to just kind of see what we can get here with the mock draft. But it seems more likely that Drake May is the pick so far for the Commanders, but we are still 2 months away. So that will have time to develop, but good things have came out about Drake May in the Commanders, and I think they stick and pick at quarterback. And I think the Patriots stick at pick and quarterback. A team that has been projected to possibly trade down, but I think they need their quarterback, and I don't think they're going to just pass on it or let that opportunity go up if they really like Jaden Daniels. If they don't, and maybe they like J.J. McCarthy, maybe they let the Giants trade up, maybe they let the Falcons trade up, who knows? And maybe they go after J.J. McCarthy with their first pick. It really all depends, and obviously they would get picks. So you could also go with the route of just building the team overall before you get your quarterback, but I think when you have the quarterback, that's probably going to go top 10. I don't see why you wouldn't take him at 3. The Cardinals get lucky. They get Marvin Harrison Jr., and they don't have to move. The Chargers, this one's very interesting. I think Malik Neighbors is definitely an option. I think Brock Bowers is an option. But I'm leaning towards more that they go Joe Alt and get their tackle on the other side of Rashawn Slater. With Jim Harbaugh and his ideas and philosophy, I think that Joe Alt will be the pick as of now, but you can't go wrong with Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers. You really can't. And the Giants, they lock into Malik Neighbors. They get their receiver. I wouldn't be mad if they took Rome Odunze. I think though that's very 2A, 2B. I'm very close between those two, and they could go back and forth and very well may change by the time the NFL draft starts. But I think for Tennessee or for New York, that makes a ton of sense. Tennessee could go definitely a few places. I think a cornerback is a place. I think a receiver. But I think I'm going to give them the other offensive tackle, Olu Fashanu. And Talise Fuaga has also been really good. I'm going to go for more the athletic tackle, even though Talise is athletic, sure, but maybe a little bit better of a pass protector. And I think the potential is there a little bit more. And I think Tennessee does obviously need offensive line help, and they're going to go Olu. For the Falcons, I think this is a J.J. McCarthy spot, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And I'm going to give the Falcons... an edge. I think I'm going to give him Dallas Turner. I've been mocking Atlanta and Dallas Turner for a while. I think Dallas Turner is the best edge rusher in this draft class. A very athletic edge rusher, as we saw at the Combine, and as we also saw in when he played games. And the Falcons are still looking for guys that can help on that defensive line, and I think Dallas Turner can definitely be that. The Bears, they look into their receiver 1, and they don't have to move. Rome Odunze is going to go number 9, and they can get their other receiver for Caleb Williams and also next to DJ Moore. The Jets, also looking for tackle help, offensive line help. They get Talise Fuaga, a very good offensive tackle. And 3 offensive tackles going in the top 10 I find very interesting. And also 3 receivers going in the top 10. I think that just shows you how good this receiver and tackle class is. And offensive lineman draft in general. The Vikings, I think here is another J.J. McCarthy spot. But I think they're going to get Kirk Cousins back. And maybe they look for a Bo Nix, Michael Penix type of guy, maybe Spencer Rattler, who knows. I'm going to give them cornerback, and I think Cooper DeJean is the best cornerback in this draft class, but I also want to throw in a little bit of real, prediction. And if there's a prediction, for me, it's either Quinion Mitchell or Terrion Arnold. Vikings could also go defensive line and go after Liatu Letu, which makes a ton of sense. right now, I'm gonna give. I'm gonna put Terrion Arnold as the first cornerback off the board and give them to Minnesota. They need some secondary help. They need defensive help. And if they don't go quarterback with this pick, they're going defense. And Terrion Arnold would be a great cornerback, an athletic cornerback that I still think needs some, working out the kinks and refinements. But I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be really good in the NFL. This is my J.J. McCarthy spot. The more I think about it, I think the Denver Broncos go after J.J. McCarthy. And the more I think about it, I think they could be one of the teams that trade up into the top 10 to get J.J. McCarthy. Even though I think it would be a mistake. I see they just let go of Russell Wilson, and they need a quarterback. And they're not getting the top 3 quarterbacks, in my opinion. And I don't think Kirk Cousins, I don't think Justin Fields is going to do much for him. I think they're going to want the last kind of young and flashy quarterback in this draft. The Raiders could go definitely a few places. I think cornerback's an option. Quarterback's probably an option. Here, they could go interior defensive line is, again, another option there. And I'm going to give the Raiders... Let's give them Byron Murphy. I still need to look at Byron Murphy, Jer'Zhan Newton a little bit more, but I'm going to give Byron Murphy there to the Raiders. They need some interior defensive line help, and Byron Murphy looks really good. The Saints also need some offensive line help, and I think this is a good place for Amarius Mims to go. I don't have him this high, I think, but just his athletic prowess that we saw at the Combine, I think this, in his measurements, puts him in the top 15. I just can't see him getting out of the top 15, top 20. The Colts, I think, could be a very interesting spot to get a receiver. I think could be a very interesting spot to get Brock Bowers. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm gonna give them Brock Bowers. And the Colts get Brock Bowers. They get their tackle or tight end. The Seahawks could go a few places. I'm going to give them Jackson Powers-Johnson, who has looked phenomenal throughout this whole draft process. The Jaguars, this one's really interesting because I think a cornerback is definitely needed. And I'm going to put Cooper DeJean just because I think he's the best cornerback in this draft class. But I could very well see Nate Wiggins or Quinyon Mitchell being the next cornerback off the board. The Bengals, I know they were probably upset that Brock Bowers fell, but I think a tackle is still a place to go. And you still got some very good offensive tackles in this draft. J.C. Latham has looked phenomenal. His measurables look insane. You got Troy Fawn now, he could probably play tackle. He's definitely has the arm length too. But I think he could definitely go inside. I'm gonna go J.C. Latham for the Bengals. The Rams, I've been thinking about Bo Nix. I think this could be a Bo Nix pick. Have Matthew Stafford, let him sit behind Matthew Stafford and see where this goes. The Steelers need a cornerback. I'm gonna give them Quinyon Mitchell there. And then Miami, I think with this, I'm going to give them Leatu Letu with their edge rusher depth not being great. They're not going to have Andrew Van Ginkel. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb got injured last year. They're probably not going to have Christian Wilkins back, even though he's the interior defensive lineman. He's most likely not going to be back with Miami. And, the Eagles just lucked into Nate Wiggins. And I'm doing this one take, so I'm kind of just going with the flow. And the fact that Nate Wiggins fell down this far is a godsend for the Eagles. Same thing with the Steelers, even I think a top 20. I think that's kind of fair there. Colts got Brock Bowers, so it's really interesting. And then I think here I'm going to give the Texans... I'm giving the Texans Jared Verse. I know they don't fully need an edge rusher. They obviously have Will Anderson Jr. They could have Jonathan Grenard back, but in case he doesn't, I think Jared Verse is definitely on the board possibility, and I think Jared Verse is that good to where just going best player available in this situation for the Texans would result in Jared Verse. The Cowboys, I think they go interior offensive line. They're not going to have Teron Armstead, so I think Troy Fonten now makes a ton of sense. Could play tackle, can play inside. I think that's a good pick for the Cowboys. The Packers, cornerback, safety, and I think I would give them my last first round grade cornerback. Even though there is somebody else I'm definitely going to put in here, but Kool-Aid McKinstry going to the Packers. The Buccaneers, they got Mike Evans back. I think a receiver is still a possibility, and we haven't had any of these other top receivers go yet. And I'm going to give, which I don't know if that happens. I don't know if Brian Thomas or A.D. Mitchell falls this far, but that's what we have. That's where we're at right now. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Buccaneers. The Cardinals, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. They could definitely go a few places here. And I'm going to go ahead and give them Jerzon Newton. Give them best defensive player probably available at that point. The Bills, they need a receiver. For me, I'm going to give them A.D. Mitchell. I think he is an incredible receiver. Same thing with Brian Thomas Jr. I think those two I will be going back and forth with for rankings for a very long time. The Lions are going to get the last cornerback I'm going to have come up in this, and that's going to be Kamari Lassiter. I love Kamari Lassiter, and I love him. I do have a second round grade on him. He's not all the way up there, but if you're drafting later in the first round, early second round, and you need a cornerback, Kamari Lassiter is your dude. The Ravens, I've been mocking this dude to the Ravens for a while, and that is Chop Robinson. They know how to develop edge rushers, and Chop Robinson is this guy that you can truly mold if you are able to, and if you can mold him, he will be an absolute beast because of his pure speed and athleticism and bends off the edge. The 49ers, they need offensive linemen. Got him going Graham Barton. In the Chiefs to end it out, I think they could go anywhere with these receivers. Troy Franklin, Ladd McConkey makes a ton of sense. Maybe Xavier Worthy fit. I don't know. Maybe he falls into the first round because of his 40-yard dash, even though I don't think that would be the right choice. I'm going to give the Chiefs Ladd McConkey because he knows how to separate, and they need separators, and that would be incredibly dangerous for that Chiefs offense. So this is my first round mock draft. I went that all off the top of my head, and if you want to look over it, you can right now. And for more NFL for more NFL content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below what you think of this mock draft, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.